there's YouTube now, there's Instagram, everybody has a voice, everybody can say what they want. This is nuance now. Somebody likes dark satirical poetry, people know how to think now, people know how to express themselves. In the age of YouTube and social media, isn't poetry it can be boring? So how do you...
Social media is a very interesting thing that came into practices like poetry, writing poetry or becoming a poet or whatever, because see, I personally believe that each and every person has the talent to write poems, and that person can write. But how do you nurture yourself in becoming a poet is a different thing. Now that social media, it entertains all kinds of things. It also entertains poetry. Like, for example, a lot of people have found these screens as a kind of a podiums where they launch themselves as poets. But that's fine, no problem, because poetry is said or practiced in diverse ways. This also is something that has been, like, every young people, they would have written something or the other. Poems are written by every person, as far as I believe. You can't escape that. Then you run away from that is a different thing. Like you said that you don't understand poetry. There is nothing to understand. There is something to practice, to live in. Therefore, social media in a way gave a lot of space to lots and lots of people to express in whatever language they want. Otherwise, that's one good thing about social media. And also the limitation of social media is until and unless you rework on your work and you really get involved in it and make a poem, then it doesn't become a poem.
Make a poem.
For example, make a poem. Because, for example, I would like to use the example of a carpenter. A carpenter can make a chair which will stand really properly with 4 legs.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And I can't do carpentry. I write poetry.
Yes.
I edit. I really chisel. I really know the sound, know where to stop, what to bring in. So that whole thing takes a lot of time. You need to equip yourself in these skills of making. With words, kneading with words, weaving with words.
I'll come back to
social media most of the times will not give space for this, or
it's quick.
People will just put something and go away.
So how would you make me fall in love with poetry? Like, if you have just over a party you meet somebody in a quick way, obviously, because we are also speaking just for a limited amount of time. If you met someone who doesn't know, is uninitiated, doesn't know anything about poetry, what would you say to them to say, come on board? It's a beautiful subject. How do you say that? How do you make someone fall in love with it?
First thing I will do is, if somebody is not interested, I don't care. And if somebody is curious and comes to me, only then I will show them or talk to them about diversity and the colorfulness of engaging with poems. Okay, I also do workshops. Workshops, like people who want to do poems, want to write poems, want to make poems, come to the workshop.
But why is it important?
And
why is poetry important?
Yes. Poetry, most of the times, poetry is kind of a tool. It is a form, it's an expression, it's a tool that allows you to deal with many things, talk about self, talk about the world, talk about secrets, talk about sensuality, talk about politics, talk about every damn thing, Like, I am a hardcore lover of poetry. And once poetry is, once you fall in love with poetry, there is no escape. And it's such a pleasurable love that you really don't want to get away. Because you start doing something and walk through, like it is an experience of life, walk through the entire experience of making poetry, and then something comes out.
Yeah.
That need not be the end. Maybe you will rework on that again.
Yeah.
So poetry is so visual. Poetry is one thing which speaks, which is visual, which has all qualities of drama, theatre. So it is one genre that involves or imbibes and everything, and it is kind of inclusive format of art.
Now, you said inclusive.
The
Okay,
most
so now
inclusive.
you're a